All right, shalom, and welcome to another Bible study that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. My name is Esaac ben Israel, and I am the elder priest of the United Congregation of Israel. And I'm joined here with my brother, Priest Kish, the elder priest. Shalom, my brother.
Shalom.
All right. So as you guys should know, that we are days away from celebrating the Feast of Weeks, or Pentecost. And as we've gone over, our Feast of Weeks is counted by 7 weeks. 7 times 7 is 49. The next day is the 50th day. Penta is a Greek term meaning 50. And it's quite interesting that in today's most Christian organizations only keep the holy day that has a Greek term, which is interesting because it is still a Old Testament holy day. It didn't change its makeup because they refer to it by the Greek term Pentecost, or what seems to be more user friendly, if you will. But it didn't change where it comes from. We can still go to Leviticus chapter 23 and read about all of Yahweh's holy days. But because we will see one name in the New Testament and another name in the Old Testament, that somehow makes people believe that they are not doing anything of the Old Testament when even to keep Pentecost, you have to start with Passover. Keep Feast of Unleavened Bread. Within the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you then have the Feast of First Fruits. You then count from the next weekly Sabbath is where you start, and then you count 7 Sabbaths, and those 7 Sabbaths are 49 days. And the next day is your Pentecost or Feast of Weeks. So, of course, as we keep our regular Sabbath, that evening at sundown, so that would be what we call Saturday night, would be when we celebrate our Feast of Weeks, which is Saturday at sundown is what? Sunday. And we know in all of the Christian gatherings, they have Pentecost Sunday. That would be completely correct if indeed they kept Saturday as their Sabbath. But since they don't, and it's 7 times 7 plus 1, if they thought Sunday was their Sabbath, then Pentecost should always be on a Christian Monday. And that's not what's happening. It's quite interesting that you could tell me that 7 times 7 is 49, except on Sunday. What? So, I mean, it sounds like a twisted football equation. Like, 7 touchdowns equal 49 points, but not on Sunday. What? Sunday has different mathematics? I've never heard of a day having a different mathematical equation. But when you look at how this thing adds up, it's 7 times 7 plus 1. And if you believe that Sunday was the Sabbath, all right, then that's 7 Sundays plus 1. How do you still end up on Sunday? This lets you know that this is where Yahweh is drawing the line between those who truly have a heart to serve him. Because there's no way that you can tell me that all these master degree, PhD having individuals can't count 7 times and add a 1. That's like, elementary equation. 7 times 7 plus 1. So there's no way you can tell me that you're that intelligent and you can't count. So we then have to deal with, no, this is about something else then. This is not about our ability to understand. This is about something else. Okay? And this is where we have to ask ourselves some questions. How did we get to, that point where we would ignore the obvious? when it comes down to something like that. So understanding that, then we understand that we're putting some things also in the making. We have where we make our appearances 3 times in a year. So in doing that, then we have to prepare for an appearance. You know, one of the things that we have been given is that whole come as you are. And come as you are sounds like a really good thing. It sounds like, you know, you're meeting the people where they are. And I've heard people say that, you know, if you really want to have more members, you really should, you know, lessen, you know, the things that you require. Tell that to Yeshua. Yeshua says, go out in the highways, go all about the streets, and invite all of them to come into the wedding feast. Invite them all. Then he says, how is this person coming here without a wedding garment? Take them, cast them out into utter darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Tell him that. Tell Yahshua, you know, if you really want more people in heaven, you should lessen the restrictions. Tell him. Tell him. Don't tell us. Tell him. Why would he hold somebody accountable for the garment that they have on? But because we have been educated into believing, indoctrinated really, believing that none of those things matter, that somehow God just judges our heart and our actions don't matter. Yet when we read in the volume of this book, we go past things that says you're going to give an account for every idle word. So if I have to give an account for every idle word, then it is, as it is written, the things that proceed out of the mouth came from the heart. So if he judges my heart, then that means he's going to judge that stuff that came out of my mouth. Because the stuff that came out of my mouth came from my heart. I thought it, I felt it, I believed it, and I said it. This is why sometimes it's good to, you know what I'm saying, give old Jake a drink or two. Because see, old Jake can hold back a lot until about that second stiff drink. When he moving, but he ain't going nowhere. Uh-oh. Now what's finna happen? The thoughts of his heart is finna come out of his mouth. That is who he always was. He didn't drink and get nasty. He got drunk and couldn't hold nasty in. Nasty was always there. Racist was always there. All of that was always there. What happened was he lost his strength to hold back the wall that he was hiding behind during the daytime. See, that's all that happened right there. So we have to consider some things. So if we're gonna, be mindful about how we approach unto our Elohim, then we have to pay attention to some things. So before we make an appearance, we sanctify against the third day. Now, you have individuals that have, issue with this. I've even, had an elder tell me, don't mention that. Told me not to mention it in the congregation. Not my elder, an older, said that. All right. So let's go to Exodus chapter 19.
Brother, you were mentioning the Pentecost. It's falling on our same day this year as well.
Now, how they magically do that? Tell me what kind of magical Sunday morning powers they have that it happened to fall on the same day. Now, according to this, there's an equation, right? Mm-hmm. There's an equation for you to get to Pentecost. Most Christians think the equation is you wait for the calendar and look at what day Pentecost is stamped on. They think that's the equation because they sure don't know the equation for Easter. And nobody asks, why does Easter's date keep changing? Nobody asks that question. And there's too many intelligent people now to fall for this. Now, you can't tell me you smart and you stupid at the same time. Now, you got to be one or the other. Either you smart or you stupid, but you cannot be both. There's got to be a question. I had to be 9 years old, and I asked my mama, in the middle of the Easter egg hunt that was in my backyard. And anybody know me know I love two things, eggs and chocolate. So this, oh man, I was all in for this one. I was all in. It got eggs and chocolates in the same place. This is going to be amazing. And I messed up the whole festivity. Me and my little young dumb mouth. Mama, what eggs and bunnies got to do with Jesus' resurrection? Now, I didn't know then that pause and the blank stare was there. It took me 30 years later to play that back in my head. She didn't mean no harm. She was just doing all of the stuff that she had been taught to do. But out of the mouth of babes, a kid will ask a question that will make you go back in your study and open about 3 or 4 books. A kid will ask you something that's so simple but so profound. You know, kid asks you some questions that you don't think about. Your daddy, why the sky blue? I'm gonna get back to you in a minute. Give me a minute. Somebody bring me a drink. I'm gonna be here for a minute. The kid, if one of them kids turn around and bring you one of them high school algebra questions.
Oh boy, it's done.
Hey, bro. Hey, they gonna find you in your office with brain fluid running down the side of your head. Now, you passed that class 35 years ago. But when you ain't touched that stuff in 35 years, hey man, your brain you start hearing, that's your gears. It ain't working right. So there's some things that we have to seriously consider. Go ahead, bro.
Here's their excuse. Pentecost is a Christian holiday which takes place on the 50th day after Easter Sunday.
Check that out. Check that out. So, and Easter has an equation. Okay? So, and the whole part of the equation was to make sure that it was in the same season as Passover. So it was meant to mimic it. It is utterly interesting, man, how we allow people, as my elder would always say, you know, we teach people how to rule over us. We teach people how, they don't have to learn how to rule over us. We teach them. We teach them, look, if when I come to church now, if you make me feel real good about myself, because I've just been doing all kind of foul debauchery before I got here. Now, but if you make me feel good, I promise, you gonna get you a spaceship. You understand? You understand? Now, just make me feel good. Now, I need to feel real good now. I'm talking about real good. Whoa! Make me feel good now. Make me feel good, and I'm telling you, you're gonna live a good life. We teach people how to. So, what do you think the pastor figured out? He goes in like the old time preachers, because understand something. We had old time preachers, Christian preachers, Sunday morning preachers, who would go all the way down the book. I'm talking about Revelation Day. I mean, cut you all the way up. What happened to them? You remember the preacher who used to wear the robe? What they at? They almost be in heaven, because they gone. They been sucked up and raptured or something. They all gone. They gone. Where they go? Where they go? They gone. But them, they used to go in. But we teach people how to rule over us. He looked across town and realized, why that guy got all the money? And I got a second job. And then he watched one of his programs and found out, oh, he smiled for an hour and a half. Oh, he don't say nothing but niceness for an hour and a half. That's why he got all the money. So then what we do, now we gonna alter ours and see if it worked. Oh my goodness, it did. Boom. We teach people how to rule over us. So when we try to claim foul and say, oh, these preachers made a mockery of us, you taught them how to make a mockery of. I've heard out of somebody's mouth, if I get good service, I leave a good tip. Now, what does that mean if we break it down? What do you consider good service? Because if that person is in your grill telling you, you know what you're doing, you know, such and such, that's wrong. People are like, you know what, this ain't good service. This ain't good service here. I didn't come here. You know, when you go to a restaurant, do you go to a restaurant for them people to tell you, you know, that shirt don't match those pants? You know that? Why'd you put that head wrap on? You should have put something else. Yo, you messed up your whole ensemble. Did you wash your car before you came out here? Is this a date? This is good. Y'all, how long y'all been on each other? I don't think y'all gonna make it. Now, how much you think you gonna get for a tip after that? Right. Exodus chapter 19, and let's start this at verse 1.
The man said to elder, you still broke, old man?
Yep.
You still poor? In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai.
Now, you're going to find that this sanctification comes in threes. So he's now in the 3rd month when the children of Israel were going forth out of the land of Egypt. Now he's dealing with them. It says the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. So he's got a timetable and things are being done according to his setup and his design. Go ahead.
For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moshe went up unto Elohim, and Yahweh called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shall you say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then shall you be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and an holy nation.
A kingdom of priests, not a tribe of priests. So Yahweh was already going on the top. A lot of times people are waiting, you know, for the New Testament. It says, you know, things are magnified in the New Testament. Wait. His first conversation said, you're going to be a kingdom of priests. Now, he went to a kingdom of priests, and we don't even have a tribe of priests. But you done went all the way to a kingdom. Where he going? Because the whole earth got to learn. See, the tribe of the priests teach Israel. The kingdom of the priests teach the rest of the earth. He already there. He got to wait on us. Go ahead.
These are the words which you shall speak unto the children of Israel. And Moshe came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him. And all the people answered together, and said, All that Yahweh has spoken we will do. And Moshe returned the words of the people unto Yah. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Lo, I come unto you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever. And Moshe told the words of the people unto Yahweh.
So Yahweh knows that he has to make a believer out of Israel. He knows his people, all right? You know, so Yahweh is doing some things here for a reason. He says, I come to you in a thick cloud that the people may hear when I speak to you. Our conversation is between us, you know? But I'm going to come to you purposely open in the thick cloud so they can hear. Cause that kind of people. And it's amazing that we went from that kind of people to now anybody can say, you know, I talked to the Lord last night. But in our foundation, we was those people that were like, how we know you talk to God? Now, this was us in the beginning. Now, what has happened to us? Because he specifically said, now look, they're going to say, how we know you talk to them. Now I need you to show them these miracles. Okay? All right? That's what I read. Ain't that what you read?
Hey, first thing he said, what's your name? Because they're going to ask me what's his name.
That is. So we are questioning people. Except now. Now, what happened to all that inquisitive stuff that we had going on? Remember our people in antiquity? You know, brother get a dream and it says, do this. All right, well, if this is really you, make that part dry and make that part wet. All right, you did that. Now do it backwards. Make that part wet and make that part dry. Come on now. Is it you? What happened to all that? That now anybody can say, I talked to the Lord last night. And we don't ask any questions. We are inquisitive people. Let us say, you know what? Brother, I got a business opportunity for you. Oh yeah, where you hear about it from? Who you got it from? Let me see your credentials. Did you graduate from college? Let me see your money. Wait, let me see. Can I get your social security number? I need to check your history. Oh, so we still are inquisitive about certain things. That's interesting. Go ahead.
That inquisitive nature only comes back when we so-called come to the truth, and then we start questioning the elders and the priests in the Hebrew congregation. We don't do it while we're in the Christian congregation.
Not at all. Won't ask now question. Went to them classes where Creflo was teaching them how to speak tongues. What? Went there practicing tongues, didn't ask a question. Get 15 minutes worth of true knowledge and have questions all the way across the board. We something else. That selective, inquisitive mind of ours is something else. But it was known that we were going to question, you know, whether or not this individual talked to Yahweh. We just, it was accepted to the point where Yahweh accepted it. Look, they're going to ask you this. So be ready when they ask you. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes.
So why didn't Yahweh just accept them as they were? Well, they said, well, just come as you are. Why didn't Yahweh say, just come as you are? You know what I'm saying? Y'all seen my power. Y'all seen what I do. You know what I'm saying? Just come on. You know how you want to come. And come down and sit down and talk to me. So then you have those questions where people say, well, what about clean and unclean when you're trying to keep the Sabbath? Well, hold on. You have to really pay attention to this statement. All right? Be ready against the third day. He's making them sanctify themselves. And it's a physical situation. Go ahead.
And be ready against the third day. For the third day Yahweh will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And you shall set bonds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves, that you go not up into the mount.
Now check this out now. You can't come to the mountain. Now you are about to be before me. You still can't touch the mountain though. So we're not going to be in the same place per se. But you got to be sanctified just to be near the place where I'm about to come. Go ahead.
Or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come up to the mount. And Moshe went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes.
They washed their clothes. So wait a minute. They are washing themselves and their clothes. See, this is where that thing comes that we grew up with, and they say, cleanliness is next to godliness. Man, I should look for that all over the book. Where in the world is they getting this statement? Because I don't find cleanliness or godliness. And no, I'm all over this, but where are they getting this? Wait a minute. He didn't say it. Before you come and deal with me, I'm going to need you to get some things in order. So that whole come as you are thing, I don't know where it come from. Go ahead.
Because when you look at this is their introduction to the culture. I don't hear no murmuring. I don't hear no pushback, nothing. They washing their clothes. They doing what? But boy, somebody come through the door and you try to explain them, you got all this pushback, all this questioning. There's even borders set. That's what the rules and regulations are. Boundaries. He's setting bounds.
Right. Y'all sit on this side. These people sit on that side.
I don't like that. I like to read the scriptures while I hold Honey Boo Boo's hand. I don't like to read the scripture. I don't like to turn the pages by myself. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives.
So now he's going in this specific physical connection that is lawful between a man and his wife, but not right now. Not right now. Because that affects him coming before his Elohim. Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Yahweh descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, and waxed louder and louder, Moshe spake, and Elohim answered him by a voice.
Now, this is all done for their sakes, not Moshe. Him and Moshe, they already on their own level. They don't need nobody else. No. This is for them. See, I'm gonna come outside, and I'm gonna come down there, and I'm gonna have a conversation with you. But they need to see our conversation, cause you don't know these people. Like, see, you wasn't raised with these people. You of these people, but you not of these people. I'm trying to tell you, you need to get yourself ready for Jake. Y'all understand? When Yahweh get a prophet and say, don't you be afraid of the looks on their face. Now, I'm going to make you a prophet, and I'm going to make you go talk to him. But I'm telling you now, if you scared, I'm going to confound your words before them. You better not be scared, because I'm telling you, the look on these people, if looks could kill, these people would be wanted in every place they have ever gone. These people can kill you with a look. He had to warn his prophets about us. Go ahead.
And Yahweh came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount, and Yahweh called Moshe up to the top of the mount. And Moshe went up. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, go down, charge the people, lest they break through onto Yahweh to gaze, and many of them perish.
So this whole thing was done. I'm gonna call you while they looking. We've been had this grand spectacle, because these people need to know that this is not of your own mind. Where did that inquisitive thing go? Go ahead.
And let the priests also, which come near to Yahweh, sanctify themselves, lest Yahweh break forth upon them. And Moshe said unto Yahweh, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you charged us, saying, set bounds about the mount and sanctify it. And Yahweh said unto him, away, get you down, and you shall come up, you and Aaron with you. But let not the priest and the people break through to come up unto Yahweh, lest he break forth upon them. So Moshe went down unto the people and spake unto them.
All right. So then we have this situation of being presented before Yahweh, and he made sure that they were sanctified. You know, you wash your clothes, you wash yourself, you sanctify yourself, you know, against the third day. And if you pay attention, it says today and tomorrow makes you sanctified against the third day. How is that? Then we go according to exactly the time that was given unto us in Genesis. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So we understand that begins at even. That is when we'll begin our sanctification and our separation. And when we, deal with those things, we're sanctified those 2 days as the sun goes down, and that begins that third day. This is when we make our appearance. That has us sanctified against the third day. So that's something that we didn't make up here. We got this from the book. Sometimes that, somebody feels some type of way about it, and understand this is your own personal situation. Because, hey, a man can decide that, no, I'm not going to do that. That's your salvation that you're putting in jeopardy. I mean, we're not having bed yet. You know what I'm saying? We're not finna call your wife. Come in, let me see. Did you or did you not on Tuesday night? No, we're not asking them kind of questions. We're not asking those kind of questions. We are making sure that people understand what the rules and regulations are. How you deal with that is up to you. All right, let's go to Leviticus chapter 7. Leviticus chapter 7, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
Likewise, this is the law of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering, shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of it all the fat thereof, the rump, and the fat that covers the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul that is above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in the holy place. It is most holy. As the sin offering is, so is the trespass offering. There is one law for them. The priest that makes atonement therewith shall have it. And the priest that offers any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he has offered, and all the meat offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan and in the pan shall be the priest that offers it. And every meat offering mingled with oil and dry shall all the sons of Aaron have, one as much as another. And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto Yahweh. If he offer it for a thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving unleavened cakes mingled with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil of fine flour fried. Besides the cakes, he shall offer for his offering leavened bread with the sacrifice of thanksgiving of his peace offerings. And of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation for an heave offering unto Yahweh, and it shall be the priest that sprinkles the blood of the peace offerings. And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day that it is offered. He shall not leave any of it until the morning.
All right, so we see that in a situation of sanctification, the spirit changes state on the 3rd day, okay? But then you look at what this flesh does. It has the same change backwards, because this thing was holy in the day that it was put to the fire. Go ahead.
But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow or a voluntary offering, it shall be eaten the same day that he offers his sacrifice, and on the morrow also the remainder of it shall be eaten. But the remainder of the flesh of the sacrifice of the 3rd day shall be burnt with fire. If any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten at all on the 3rd day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offers it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eats of it shall bear his lawlessness.
All right. So then we see that this situation of this 3rd day happens on the left and the right. So we see that Yahweh has a foundation here set up when it comes down to this. Let's go to Numbers chapter 19. Go ahead and start at verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and unto Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which Yahweh has commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring you a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. And you shall give her unto Eleazar the priest, that he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. And one shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin and her flesh, and her blood with her dung shall he burn. And the priest shall take cedar wood, and hyssop, and scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water. And afterward he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even.
So the changes state at even. Unclean until the even. The even marks a beginning of another day. Go ahead.
And he that burned her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and she shall be unclean until the even. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up without the camp in a clean place, and it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of separation. It is a purification for sin. And he that gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. And it shall be unto the children of Israel, and unto the stranger that sojourns among them, for a statute forever. He that touches the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean.
Okay. Let's hang out on verse 12. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean. So we have to understand how much power then is riding on this 3rd day. So you have the 3rd day then automatically then relates to the 7th day, which is the Sabbath. Yahweh has some methodology going on right here with this thing. And then he takes that same method and it's going from concept to concept to concept. So when you understand the base, it shouldn't be that difficult to understand why we do the things that we do, because you understand the method. You understand, okay, this comes from here, then he used it here, and then he used it here. Okay, this makes sense. But if we're just gonna sing and dance and you know, speak in strange, you know, sounds and grunts, then we're not gonna understand that foundation. And then when anybody tries to discuss that foundation, then we then accuse those people, you know, you don't have the spirit. And what they mean is, you know, you're trying to educate yourself too much. All right. So we then see the power of those things. Now let's jump to Matthew chapter 17. Matthew 17, and let's start it at verse 14.
And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him and saying, Adonai, have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic and sore vexed. For oftentimes he falls into the fire and often into the water.
Now, let me tell you something. There's a whole lot of us that will never get that healing from Yahshua because we're not bold enough to say there's something wrong with our kid. We just put the kid in the back room and we'll hide the kid in the back room, and 22 years later, we leave the door unlocked and the kid just get out. You know what I'm saying? And 22 years old, he done first time he done seen outside. He don't know what to do. He all over the place. You know, you done went to school with these folks, and you like, who is that? Who is that? See, a whole lot of us not gonna get that healing because we too proud to admit that there's an issue. We know folks that we know they have ailments. Matter of fact, they have an ailment and pass the ailment down to the kid. Not the parent or the kid. Not either one of them went and got some medicine. And we all sitting there look, not one but two of y'all in the same place. You mean tell me that one y'all went and got no medicine? But see, then we got to admit there's something wrong. See? We got to admit there's something wrong. We got to admit that there is dis-ease in our body. And we don't want to admit that, so we just act like we don't know what's happening. Go ahead.
And I brought him to your disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Yahshua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation.
There go the second place where we would have lost our salvation. How you gonna say something to me like that? Thought you was supposed to be all about love. And you gonna talk about a faithless and perverse generation? I ain't perverse.
We already talking back. We ain't even, we ain't heard the rest of it. We don't know what he gonna say. We done already got ticked off. Because, you know, everything is about how we feel. So right now, we're not feeling real good. Because first of all, the first people wasn't able to heal. And now, he say, faithless and perverse generation. Go ahead.
You know, you're talking about these ailments and these dis-ease. You know, and you have people that'll sit around and, you know, wonder like, man, you keep talking about your life and your story, you know, and you look and they're not saying anything. But even with the talking of your life and your experiences and all the stuff that you've gone through, then the one person comes out and goes, can you say that again? You know, I got a family member that's been going through and we've been trying to figure out what that is.
Right.
I need you to repeat that you just said about your family member and what's the symptoms?
Mm-hmm.
But if we keep all our stuff to ourselves, either not sharing your experiences or not telling your problems, and you don't understand that somebody in the room then going through the same thing or been through the same thing.
Well, see, our problem is we only want help from Yahweh himself. See, Yahweh is the only one who can come and talk to us and heal us. See, so we don't want to have, you know, we don't want any other interaction. But the way Yahweh works is that thing that you going through, the person 3 seats down, they got all the answers from some hell that they went through, might have been 15, 20 years ago. They can tell you every step of that process and guide you through it. But you don't want to talk to no person because then you're going to have to tell somebody something. So you're just going to keep on praying. You're going to pray, you close your eyes real tight and God. And he keep wondering, why they keep talking to me? The dude sat 3 seats from you. You got everything you need right there. What I already helped you. Why you not? How is it you ain't figured it out? Go ahead.
If you look at this man was looking for a serious cure for his son. He said, I brought him to your disciples already. I didn't just wait to come to you. I've been to your disciples. Mm-hmm. I done made my way up the chain of command. And at the same time, then it helps the disciples to ask a question later on because they know they tried.
Mm-hmm. And you look at how tired, you know, this man is. And we had recently had a situation like that where we know that, you know, the brother wasn't, you know, like mentally right. And you know, his mother having to run behind him. Verse 15 says, have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic and sore vexed. For oftentimes he falls into the fire and off into the water. He's got to watch him 24/7. He can't close his eyes. Now here's the problem with, you got to sleep. Now he got the hope that boy sleep longer than him. That's what he got the hope all the time. is that boy sleep longer than him. Because if that boy wake up before him, he got to put some bells or something on that boy. That boy get to moving. Hey, where you going? He done woke up and he burnt up. He done went and fell in the fire again and couldn't get out. So this is an enormous amount of work and weight on somebody to have to deal with that. So then after dealing with that, what comes out of Yahshua's mouth is "O faithless and perverse generation." That is enough to send a person over the edge. But it didn't. Not to him. Because he kept his eyes on the prize. We say stuff like that, keep your eyes on the prize. When your eyes is on the prize, the little stuff that happens on the left and right don't grab your focus and put it over there. His focus is on getting a healing for his son. So what if you gotta insult me? So what if I got to be humbled and my pride takes a hit? My objective is to get healing for my son. And I'm not going to let my pride get in the way of that. That's what keep your eyes on the prize really means. See, we've allowed it to mean all these type of things financial. No, this is what this means. You stay focused on your desired objective that was there before you got happy, sad, or anything. Before any of them emotions come in, what was your objective? You figure that out, then your eyes are still on the prize. Go ahead.
How long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me.
This one thing my grandmama taught me right here. And I realized, this is something you have to realize about yourself too. I realized that, then I picked it right up from her. Yahshua act like Miss Lucy. Them Miss Lucy, right? Them Miss Lucy. Grandma, you make me something to eat. Boy, ain't nobody got time to be doing that. You saw me in here, and then you gonna sit up here and you gonna wait. Somebody give me that butter. I ain't get that. Rebecca showed me a video, and the lady was doing that, talking about, ain't this black people? It is. Well, we gonna sit there and argue and fuss you. Tell me you don't see Yahshua right here. Oh, faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring me the little boy. Bring the little boy here. I'm going to hear this little boy. I got somewhere to be. We got something to do. Come on, little boy.
Time to be fooling around with you.
I got time to be fooling around with you. Come on in here. Get this healing. Now go on out your bed. Tell me that ain't Big Mama. Tell me that ain't Lucy. Tell me that ain't Lucy. That Lucy right there. I see Lucy right here. There she go. There she go right there. This is us. But you learn, and somebody had tell me that when I was little, because I was getting mad when my grandmama was going off, and I think it was my mama said, "Boy, shut up." I said, "What? You ain't learned yet." What you talking about? After your big mama get through fussing at you, she gonna give you everything you ask for. I said, "Well, I be doggone. That's just her." Then I find myself, my kids come out, get on out of here! Y'all get, bring me my checkbook. Boy, I done turned into Lucy.
But you see, that's that age where I had to teach my son that on a job today. We doing some stuff, we got some stuff on the table. All these different people walk in, all the alphabet boys walk in the room, say that stuff ain't say nothing. This old lady walk in. I'm just letting y'all know, y'all might want to pick that stuff up and put that stuff up where people gonna come in here to do their lunch and this and that. She walked back out. I said, boy, leave that stuff alone. I said, you seen all the alphabet people standing right here beside us. None of them said nothing. Mm-hmm. If we was gonna get in trouble, they would have said something. Leave that stuff alone. That's just that lady.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And Yahshua rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour.
Not that very minute. Okay? Not that very minute. Now, if you notice, on TBN, you know that the healing happens that minute. I ain't seen not one healing happen that hour. Whenever Benny Hinn healed somebody, they was healed that second, not even that minute. As soon as he touched them, boom, they got I can run. Go. Not once have we seen heal, and the person sit down and he go somewhere else. And an hour later, that individual get, not one time have we seen that. Now, if Yeshua's healing take an hour, how many healings take a second? You mean tell me you got something better than what my God King High Priest got? You got something better than that? What you working with?
That's where that question of nature needs to come in.
There it is. Here come that inquisitive nature. Excuse me, Dr. Hen. How is it, Dr. Hen, that you are able to heal these people in a second? Yet, this person here, who was obviously had person, now remember now, and part of the healing, they'll tell you how long that person had this ailment. They'll tell you that this person been, because that way they have to be something about it, because they healed this individual, but nobody else can heal him. Even when it happened to Yeshua, it didn't happen instantaneously. That means you still got to wait on your healing. Do you have it in you to wait on your healing? Or you need your healing this instant? Go ahead.
Then came the disciples to Yeshua apart and said, why could not we cast them out? And Yeshua said unto them, because of your unbelief.
Now, unbelief then comes in levels. Because come on, man, these are people who are able to heal people. How does he tell them because of your unbelief? No. I mean, you got belief, like their level belief. But you dealing with me though. See, you ain't on my level belief. So then you still, even though you on their level of belief, you on my level of unbelief. So what I'm saying is come up here, all right? You still got some work to do. Because it ain't like they were unbelievers per se. Come on. They healing people. How an unbeliever gonna heal somebody? They just not on his level. And he's teaching with a purpose. Hey, I ain't got much longer to be here with y'all. You gonna have to get it together. Tighten up. Come on now. I got a deadline. You got to get this unbelief together, because you're not going to be able to keep running back to me. Go ahead.
For verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
Now, who got that kind of faith? We ain't got that kind of, man, come on. Of course they ain't got that. Who got that? We don't have that yet. But Yeshua get on you for what you supposed to be, not being happy where you at. That's that stuff we do to ourselves.
Well, at least I ain't like James. I could have been like James.
No. He's dealing with you for what you ought to be. Because if he sit there and celebrate your mediocre thing now, then hey, we done. We ain't trying no more. Go ahead.
Howbeit, this kind goes not out, but by prayer and fasting.
Right. He said because of your unbelief, but you wasn't going to do this anyway. Check that out. Now that's the teacher right there. He gonna tell you all your shortcomings. Then tell you, oh, you wasn't going to get this one anyway. What? So why you beat me up then? Because I could. And it was going to make you better. Why not beat you up? This is going to make you stronger. You want to be strong, or you just want to have me say nice things to you? What do you want to be? Go ahead.
And while they abode in Galilee, Yeshua said unto them, the Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of men. And they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again. And they were exceeding sorry.
Even in this bad thing, you then find this 3-day separation. So now he then is raised sanctified. Check that out. So there is, but see, to many of us, this is all we saw. We just saw the third day here in the New Testament. We didn't get any of that third day foundation. Because we think that Yahshua is just doing some things. So we have to understand that when we are sanctifying ourselves against the third day, that means we are sanctifying ourselves before sundown Thursday. All right. Then we have sundown Friday. Okay. Then you have sundown Saturday night, which is when we will celebrate our Feast of Weeks / Pentecost. And then we will make an appearance before our Elohim. This is how we prepare. So if you take all of these instances of 3 and throw them out the window, then do what you do. But I just want to make sure that you understand why we do what we do. All right? And when you get down to this whole situation of making our appearance, according to, as it is written there 3 times in a year, that all males must make an appearance and none can come before him empty. So you talk about all of these males making an appearance. We read in Job chapter 1 and Job chapter 2. It says that there came a time when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Lucifer came also. Even the adversary in all his disobedience, he got sense enough to know where he's supposed to be when it's time to make an appearance. Check that out. He got sense enough to know. To the point where they said, where you come from? From whence cometh thou? Where you been, bro? He know where he's supposed to be. And he made whatever trip he needed to make to get there. Consider that. That's something that we really have to consider. All right, I want to go, that's as far as I want to go into on that. I have another question here that says, Shalom, I've been laboring in studying prophecy. There are so many verses that say we will take the land by sword. But this verse to me at least says we won't. I know from the prophecies you brought out and from studies of my own that interpreting it that way would be contradicting in my humble opinion. Yah willing, you can clear this up for me. Let's go to Hosea chapter 1. Now, part of the things that we have to do, and there's a specific verse in here that question is coming from.
You start at verse 1?
Yeah, let's start at verse 1. We're going to work our way down.
The word of Yahweh that came unto Hosea, the son of Beri, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, and Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Yehudah, in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel.
Now, the word of Yahweh that came to Hosea, the son of Beri, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah. He got to deal with all them. Now, understand. So he's still sitting there as they done, it's changes in rulership. Now, and I've watched people, see, this is a test of a man and his backbone. Because I watched them people, especially when my elder passed away. I watched some people change depending on who was the leader of the organization at that time. They changed totally. Every time a new leader came, they became whatever that leader liked. All of a sudden, what Yahweh liked went out of the window. That means that when they were doing those things when my elder was alive, they wasn't trying to please my Elohim, they were trying to please my elder. So then, when my elder passed away, then they tried to please the next man. Then when that man got thrown out, then they had to please the next man. See, you please Yahweh, anybody else you ain't pleasing, that their issue. That's their issue. And because if you stay on that line, if the person is about the things of Yahweh, they're going to automatically be pleased. Go ahead.
The beginning of the word of Yahweh by Hosea. And Yahweh said to Hosea, Go, take unto you a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms.
Now, our first problem is ain't no way this a prophet. He just tell me to go marry a whore. He told me to marry a whore. He gonna go get you a whore. You know, and a marry a whore. Wait a minute now, but people say you sure this God. All right, make this part dry right here, and then tomorrow I need you to make this part wet. What you asking me right now? What are you asking me right now? Go ahead.
For the land has committed great whoredom, departing from Yahweh.
Wait a minute. I need you to do what the land has done. See, we got questions, and our questions come way down there. This question is far enough down, but let me tell you something, brother. Some questions ought to come up way before you get to this verse you got a question about. Because let me tell you something. Hey, this one right here make you think. He says, go marry a whore because that's what you have been. Your people have committed whoredom. Now, this is where we have this issue. See, as men, especially men, we want to test drive every car on the lot. But when it's time to get married, we want something ain't nobody sat in. Get that make sure plastic on that seat. Wait a minute now. Come on now. Don't go on out there, true shame devil now. Come on. Now, but we done sat in many vehicles that we knew we wasn't gonna purchase. All right, but we made sure we see how it handled in the curve. We took it extremely fast and just slammed on the brake just to see if we can stop it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Yahweh know how to deal with some situations. No. I'm finna take care of this business right here. So he's dealing with some serious things right here. You know, you have, just because of that concept, you have many people that are in marriages that they feel locked in. Why? Because they have one mindset, but they still wanted to, you know, get them a car that ain't nobody drove, but they done created a mindset that now they married to somebody that don't do nothing they like to do. So now they scour the streets all night like little alley cats, you know, trying to find some half-eaten can of meat. There's something seriously wrong with that. But that's a whole nother class. Go ahead.
What's that old saying, walk a mile in my shoe? I mean, he said go marry a wife of whoredoms. He didn't say change her ways. Mm-hmm. So that means you're going to have to deal with her whorish ways, and then you'll get a feeling of what the hell I feel like.
Yeah, what? Hey, you already know once you marry the hoe that you got to change the hoe. What he doing is letting you know you the hoe. And I want you to see how difficult it was for me to have to change you. What you putting that on for? Where you going? You keep... No, he letting you know. No. You see that? No, he's giving you compare and contrast. Because automatically, even if you, just like Rahab the harlot, she couldn't keep being a harlot. She was a harlot there, but she couldn't keep being one once she came into the fold. Okay, so you marry the woman of whoredoms, all right? You know this is, as they say in down south, is a woman about town. So you get the woman about town, but she can't be about town no more. So that means now you got to deal with that. Now you got to try to dress that up. Now you was the one that bought them cat suits before. Now you got to uncat those suits. You can't buy those no more. The ones that zip up in the back. You helped. How she get in it? She couldn't zip it. She couldn't zip it. She couldn't zip it. She couldn't zip it. Who zipped it? Who zipped it? Right. Somebody help her zip that, because she can't zip that. Right.
So there wasn't no Snoop back in the day. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Hey.
You know what about
Yahweh turn hoes into housewives all day long. See, that's man said you can't turn no hoe into a housewife. You must ain't read about Israel. Read, brother.
So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim, which conceived and bare him a son. And Yahweh said unto him, call his name Yezreel, for yet a little while, and I'll avenge the blood of Yezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. Mm-hmm. And it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel.
So look, he said not only marry this woman, but start bringing forth seed. Go ahead.
And she conceived again, and bare a daughter. And Elohim said unto him, call her name Lo-ruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I'll utterly take them away. But I'll have mercy upon the house of Yehudah, and will save them by Yahweh their El, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen.
Now, this is where the question comes. It says, there are so many verses that say we will take the land by sword. But this verse, to me, at least says we won't. Because in verse 7, he says, but I will have mercy upon the house of Yehudah, and I will save them by Yahweh their Elohim. And I will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. Okay, the difference is you're putting save them in the same thought process as us taking the land.
Yep.
You thinking that we got to be saved. Understand something. We need saving right now. Have you looked at the condition of us here? Listen, look, I'm not going to send an army to come get you out. No. No. I'm gonna plead with you. See, I'm gonna bring you out, but not by sword and horsemen. No. That still has nothing to do with you taking the land. Understand, according to as it is written, the children of Israel has to be sanctified 3.5 years before you even deal with that. Understand? Here we go with this sanctification period. You ain't even fit for holy war yet. You think you just came out of Babylon Tuesday and Wednesday you like, yeah, let's do this. Who you fighting? You ain't learned how to move with danger yet. He ain't Remember what we read about the 300? He said, that's too many. No, that's too many. Oh, yeah, that's still too many. What you think he about to do? No, that's too many. No, kill them all. No, that's still too many. Kill them all. Okay, yeah, this group. Now, my glory is going to be seen. See, because if I do it with all y'all, then y'all going to think y'all did it. You think he don't know us? One thing he know is Israel. You can't tell a man nothing about his wife. He like, man, you know how long I've been with her, brother? You trying to tell me something like you just discovered yesterday? You know, I just found out something about your wife. Well, congratulations. Because I've been knowing her for 50 years. He's like, oh, no. I know this. If I let her go up in her multitude, she going to be telling me, you know what, thank you, Yahweh, but I got this. Go on back on watch some constellations or something. I got this. No, you don't. He know his wife. So he know, I can't let out. What'd he say? 2/3 of Israel going to get cut off. No, I can't do this with all y'all. First of all y'all not going to allow me into your heart. So I can't go to war. What the King David said, Saul said, here, take my sword and shield. He said, I cannot take these. They have not been proven in battle. But you know what I know? The slingshot, your boy's a guru with it. What I can do with a rock and this sling right here, it was proven in battle. He had used it, and to the point where he trusted in it to go to war. It's not about, just us saying that we trust Yahweh. Can Yahweh trust you? He got to go to war with you. Can he trust you? Well, he's got to figure out if these are weapons that he can trust. He ain't going to war with unproven arms. This is what our trials and our tribulations that we go through, this is what it's all about. Well, he's proven, all right, I picked that one. We don't even know that we auditioning for a seat. We think we in. You auditioning for a spot. Go ahead.
So many people are focused on getting back into the land, That's where you get this mix up here. It's even the first part says, "But I will have mercy upon the house of Yehuda." We in the midst of His mercy right now.
Right.
We're in the midst of His mercy, and then He says, "I'll save them by Yahweh their El." How is that? Learn these words, learn these commandments, learn His statutes, and that's how you gonna get saved.
What day you say when we will free your mind and your will follow? You gotta free your mind first. When it said come out of her, my people, we are our bags already packed. We done left. Hold on. Have you come out of her here and here? Because you can come out of her physically, but if she's still in here, the first time something happened, you gonna act exactly like you acted right over there. And you 2,000 miles away. What happened? She's still in here. You know how hard it is to get something out of here and out of here? It takes more than just physical separation. When I learned that this Jesus character was a farce, that this was an actual individual who was, posed for the painting. Even though I knew the truth, I couldn't get that dude out my head. I closed my eyes, and here come that dude. And I know, I've now read in the book, it told me that it had feet as if they burned in a furnace. All these things, like a jasper and a sardine stone. Wait a minute now, what I'm reading is not fitting this picture that has been fed to me. I had to stop closing my eyes when I pray, because when I closed my eyes, that dude showed up again. The white guy with the perm hair. I couldn't get him out. I knew it wasn't real. So when he says come out of her, you have to understand there are so many ways that we have, and the reason we operate like this is because we've been raised in the daughter of Babylon. And we don't even consider that until you go somewhere else. Like we'll go to somewhere and we think those people being nasty, but not understanding any word. First time, I didn't know, I didn't feel any way, but I thought it was strange. First time I went into some Oriental's house and they was, "Oh no, we need you to take shoes off." I didn't know nothing. What? Okay. I thought it was strange. Then I realized every last one of them Oriental. Every time I went to an Oriental house, I said, "Hey, can I get you to they catch you right at the door. Mm-hmm. Got a shoe rack. All the shoes right there. They don't wear shoes in their house." Okay. We don't have that kind of culture. We didn't, I wasn't raised like that. Okay? Then I get in this book. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Then you find out you have this thought process because of being raised in the daughter of Babylon. Now that's just one thing. Now take every day of your life, something else from the daughter of Babylon has been planted inside of you. You think you can just go visit somewhere and all that come out? Oh, we talking about a cleansing. You ever took a real cleansing and you see that stuff that come out of there? You realize that some of that stuff that come out of there, you be like, I think that's been in there since 86. That don't smell like it came out of a person. That smell like water treatment facility. You understand how much treatment facility you actually have in you? You got some 86, I'm talking about some 1974 water treatment facility type things inside you. That's got to come out. And that ain't going to come out overnight. Yahweh going to have to work with us to get that. Why do you think coming out, they going through periods of no food and no water? He's purging them. And we arguing everywhere. You should have left us in Egypt. We had the fish and the leeks. You know what I'm saying? We had, cucumber. Oh my goodness, them cucumbers. I can take some right now. He's purging us, but we arguing about what we eating. He's trying to pull out that Egypt. Yeah, they came out of Egypt, but Egypt was still in them. So when we talk about coming out of here, and we think, yeah, I'm gonna get me a ticket. Okay, here's the problem. Her ways are so deceptive. There's only a handful of things that we can really see and pinpoint that are wrong. There's other things that we have learned just by way of our education on how doing business. Things that may be completely legal here are completely immoral to Yahweh. All that's got to come out of us. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the sad part to find out how deeply something is embedded is when you in another country, handcuffs being thrown on you.
Yeah.
Something as simple as profanity. And you be like, huh? What? Y'all arrested me for what? Yeah, somebody heard you just using some profanity on the sidewalk. Huh?
Hey, man, it's so much. You talk about in certain countries, what they got talking about a death penalty for being gay. Bro, you hugged the wrong person the wrong way, and you might be in jail. Matter of fact, just now, you might go to Israel and decide you're going to talk about the Bible. You might not make it home. And all this money we done gave these people. Boy, the Gentiles should feel super stupid. Boy, they should feel super. Because let me tell you something. One thing I can tell you about every Gentile I know, they believe in getting the most for their dollar. When Gentiles spend $5, they want $10 worth of stuff. They are very, very good. They particular about their money. Well, they realizing now that they got jacked. They looking at the receipt and realize, wait a minute, I've been paying you for all this stuff, but I ain't been getting none of it. Oh, they about to be ticked off because I know I have not met a Gentile. Every Gentile friend I've ever had, they've been serious about their money. But now they realize they've been giving Israel all this money, and now you can't even mention the Bible. Yet in this land, you can't talk about Israel. But in their land, you can't talk about the Bible. Whoo. Oh yeah, there's something seriously wrong there. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 8, now when she had weaned Lo-ruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Then said Elohim, call his name Lo-ammi, for you are not my people, I will not be your El. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living El. Then shall the children of Yehudah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Yezreel.
All right. One of the things when you deal with this, Hosea chapter 4 and 14 says, I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore, the people that do not understand shall fall. So tell me he ain't trying to make you see and feel his plight by causing you to marry. Oh, he is amazing with Yahweh go from here to Bangladesh to prove 1 point. He about that life. Go ahead.
What's significant about this is he starts off talking about Hoshea and giving him that, and he's talking about in the days of, if you know that Hoshea was a prophet to the northern tribes of Israel, the 10 tribes, and they were just full of idolatry. But I mean, he even mentions in verse 4, he says, and I will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. And by the time he gets down to the bottom, he's going from what they were doing in the land at that time all the way down to the prophecy where he's going to raise us up and lift us out. And in that same place where he told us that we were walking in whoredoms, he's going to restore us and call us to be. So he's gone from where they were down to the prophecy of what's going to come.
Well, you read even further in that book. He starts saying, Ephraim has mixed himself, and you know you.
Unturned.
Oh my God! Say he like a cake unturned. You know, cake unturned ain't cooked but on one side. But then you look at what's happening. You know, people will say, well, you know, you can't choose who you love. Yahweh say you can. You know, there's certain things, especially when it comes to the priest. Yahweh was serious about that. But when you come down to some of the things that's happening here in the daughter of Babylon, this ain't about love. Every situation in every movie or television show is showing us without us. We are always married to somebody from another nation. Like, two black people can't be happy see, this is inside of us, because everything that we see has been presented to us that way. Like, okay, yeah, if you're saying, okay, this is an interracial marriage, okay, that is what it is. But why does every marriage that I see now have to be interracial? Wait a minute. So you telling me that we can't be happy with each other? Even when we are on TV and we're gay, we're not even gay with each other. What is that saying? See, this is the part that come out of her. What's happening to us is we're being fed that even if we ain't straight, we still ain't enough for each other. That's a mind screw. Yeah, we can leave this place, but if you come out with that same mentality, you taking that mentality where you went. That's why, you know, people talking about they talking about getting some reparations in California. Man, every kid gonna have a loader ride or bicycle. We get reparations here, we're gonna give it all back. Because the mindset is on being a consumer at this point. They took all of the business mind, or most of it, out of us. Why? Every time we achieved, our houses got burnt down. Our businesses got burnt down. Our whole communities got burnt down. That's what stopped us from wanting to do certain things. Because when we did, it was always ended in violence. Yet we are the ones who are accused of being violent. But it was always a mob of Gentiles that came and burned down a whole city because they said one brother looked at somebody. And somehow they took all that land after it was set on fire. So that is still in us. That we are not enough for one another. So it's not about, oh, I love this individual and they just happen to be of another nation. No, we are loving people specifically because they are from another nation. What's that Jamaican term? When they see it, ooh, he from foreign. What's that? Oh, it's better because it ain't from here. What is that? See, that's mentality. That's something that when we come out of here, do you understand how problematic that's going to be? When Yahweh said, all right, y'all did what you did. That is what it is. But from this day forward, everybody going to stay to their own tribe. Now, what you going to do if in your head, your tribe is not beautiful in your eyes? You know, these people black. What you gonna do? Because you have been, see, coming out of her is a lot more difficult than we think. It is a lot more difficult than we think. We are so ready to march. Do you not understand how much is in here? He didn't just bring us out of Egypt and starve us for no reason. Get ready. Yahweh has the ultimate cure for obesity. You ain't gonna eat. You ain't gotta worry about a whole bunch of fat people. All this weight I've been trying to lose, I ain't worried about it. Yahweh's plan is without fail. we're gonna see Lil Sock again. We're gonna see Lil Sock again. When you get on Yahweh's plan, when you ain't ate in 2-3 days. But he's showing you, hey, you ain't ate in 3 days. You ain't had none of that medicine either. How you feel? Right. This how he make you trust him. This how he make you trust. Your medicine ain't out here. Where your medicine at? I mean, McDonald's ain't out here either. But you all right, right? Oh, okay. All right, we'll keep walking then. Go ahead.
Hey, some people gonna stop you when they see the slaughter process. What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good.
There's a reason why we don't want to see some of that. Somebody put something on and sent it, man, with somebody put that thing with the cow with the hole. Mm-hmm. Hey, bro, I couldn't eat that night. I couldn't. I turned into a liar. I just wanted vegetables and tree bark. I didn't want nothing. My mental was messed up when I seen that. It was bad. It was bad. So you're right. The more we see that, the more it's gonna get to us. Go ahead. Let's go to. I want to go. You know what? Let me deal with this next one. What's our time like? Okay. Let's go to. Let's deal with this. Matthew 7. And then we'll come back and deal with the other one. Now, of course, we're getting a question that comes further down, but I want to start at verse 1 because I want to get all this stuff going down to it because there's some good stuff in here. Matthew chapter 7, and we're going to start at verse 1.
Judge not, that you be not judged.
And there's people say, don't be judging me. Don't be judging me.
Now, we don't understand what judgment is. See, we think if a brother say, you know, man, I looked and I saw what you was doing with that brother's wife, man. That ain't right, brother. You can't judge me. We've gotten to the point that a person can't say anything to somebody without somebody saying that you're judging them, because we don't understand what biblical judgment is, and we accuse people of judging who are merely trying to rebuke us, okay? It says, if your brother sin against you, rebuke him. If he repents, then forgive him. How is he ever going to get to the part of repentance if we can't get to rebuke? If rebuke has now turned, see, this is a trick of the devil. Simple rebuke, which is only acknowledging or bringing to the forefront what somebody has done. This gives them the opportunity to repent. When it was brought to King David that Yahweh knew what he did, do you think he would have repented if he never got caught? You think he would have said anything if Yahweh wouldn't have said, you know, there was a man, and I tell you, he had this little guy, he had one little ewe lamb. And the man, he didn't kill from his flock. Now, he had a flock now. He had a flock. Thick, fatted calf. All right? But what he did was, he killed as he slayed this man, the one little ewe lamb. He slayed that lamb. He didn't have to, he had a whole flock over here. He could have picked whichever one he wanted to slay. Okay? So he done took David. David said, yeah, that man should die. You the man. Boom. Repentance. But he repenting because it was brought to him. Okay? So how do we get to the point where as soon as somebody says something to us, they are judging us? This is your opportunity for repentance. But what we do is this is when the wall come up. We are so busy trying to protect that immediate feeling that we have that we never get to the point of repenting because we can't acknowledge that something was done. That's that wall that goes up immediately. You know, as much as I love myself some Tupac, but he had one of the dumbest lyrics there, only God can judge me, and he shall. He shall. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to ask for it. He shall. But that was anybody who speaks out is judging. Judgment involves punishment. If you're being judged, that means there's also a weight that's sitting over your head. That if that judgment doesn't go right, then the punishment goes down. When they judged, there was a pile of rocks. You understand? They didn't just judge and say, you know, it was wrong. Stop it. No. When they said that was wrong, all right. There go your rock. There go your rock. There go your rock. And the witnesses.
First to cast a stone.
First to throw. Why you think Yahshua said? Let he who is without sin be the first one to cast a stone. Remember now, the witnesses have to be the first one.
Caught her in the very act.
Daddy, you said you did it? You'll rock first. See, and this is us now. We'll be a partaker of shedding the blood, but we don't ever want to be the first one to draw blood. No, throw the rock. You say she guilty. Here go the rock. Throw it. Now I want you. I want first drop of blood to be from you. Oh, now we shine away. Ah, why you shine away now? I thought you said for surely she was guilty. And for surely you have not done anything like this, right? So go ahead, throw it. Right. So this thing has gotten so far out of context that the adversary, the devil, has tricked us into thinking that we can't even talk amongst ourselves about how a sin has been done or committed against us and sit down and reason with your brother or your sister. Now, as soon as we mention it, we judging. Go ahead.
For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged.
Uh-huh.
And with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again.
All right. Did you throw the rock? Or did you just say, brother, I don't think that's right? Now, if that's my judgment, then I take it. Did I throw a rock at you? When I said, hey man, according to the book, man, you can't be with that woman. That woman belonged to him. So, if that's my judgment, then that is. I ain't throw no rock at you. I ain't draw no blood. That might hurt your feelings. So if that was wrong, then my judgment and my feeling get hurt. Go ahead.
And why beholdeth you the mote that is in your brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in your own eye?
What did they do when they brought that woman? They said we caught them in the very act. Mm-hmm. What would the man? What would the man? If they called her in the very act of committing adultery, there should have been two people there. But this false judgment had one person, the woman. And you think Yahshua ain't got sense enough to look, there's something wrong with your judgment. How can she be convicted of a two-person crime with only one person present? Now, did y'all already kill the other one? Because y'all got to explain to me why ain't but one of them here. What the guy? Y'all already stoned him, right? He's stoned? Show me his body. Oh, he not stoned? Oh, he's still living? Right, case dismissed. Go ahead.
Or will you say to your brother, let me pull out the mote out of your eye? And behold, a beam is in your own eye. You hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of your own eye, and then shall you see clearly to cast out the mote out of your brother's eye.
Now, you know this is what people throw at you the first time you tell them about something they did wrong.
Won't you cast out?
They don't even do it right.
Cast out the ship that's in your eye, and then you can get the boat out of mine or the something.
Man, get out of here. Boats and ships. Go ahead.
Give not that which is holy unto dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine,
Uh-huh.
lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you.
Right. And oftentimes we do this because we have swine in our family. And then we want to go and we want to throw down this right in front of them swine family members. And then they're going to turn around, they're going to take your words, and then they're going to trample you, you underfoot as soon as you walk out.
Yeah, you're in that cult down there. They was down there talking about all this, the Sabbath day and all that. Don't nobody know when the Sabbath day is, and you're doing all that stuff.
Right, they're trampling you as soon as you turn your back. Right, because you done cast your pearls among swine. Go ahead.
You know, that's out of that whole sentence there, that's the only one we keep repeating. What about the first part? Giving out that which is holy unto dogs.
Yeah. But then we got to sit down and think about what all that means. When a heathen asks you to pray for him, did you not give that which was holy unto a dog?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You just took a holy prayer and gave it to a dog, and and if that dog get healed, who is that dog gonna think?
What about when you got stuff to do for the sanctuary and you decide to take it and go do your own shindiggery?
Well, hey, we divide that right off the rip. You gave that which was holy unto dog. Rightfully so, brother. Right about that. Go ahead.
Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you.
Now, this is where the question was. When you deal with this situation, our problem is, what kind of heart do we seek? See, this is our thing. A lot of times you find this thing just like, when people don't want to be a part of a congregation.
Where two or more are gathered, there I am in the midst.
So what they do is get two more nasty, disgusting hellions just like they self. And now they think they have the church of hellions. And now Yeshua is forced to come. Yahweh is forced to be there because they found two other hellions to gather with them. It's amazing how we take that word and just twist it. Two other what? And then when you get to this, ask and it shall be given. Don't this word say, you must ask nothing wavering. Mm-hmm. Let that man not think that he shall receive anything of Elohim if he is a double-minded man. They just say, you ask and it shall be given you. How did you ask? It says, seek and you shall find. How do you seek? See, a lot of people say, you know what, man, I really want that car. All right, you seek it. Go and find out, man, that car costs a lot of money. All right, so you want it? Yeah, I want it. All right, this how much you got to work for it.
You know what? I don't think so.
Oh, okay, so you didn't seek it then. See, we got a level on seek. Sometimes I'll seek mean, well, I asked him twice. That was your seeking? It says you seek, wisdom as if it was gold or a precious treasure. How did you seek your spouse? If they didn't agree right away, did you walk away?
Hey, how you doing?
Well, bump you then. Right. Go ahead.
And my whole thing in that whole equation, it all comes right back to the word ask. That's the first thing there. And if you look at it, the A for ask, the S for seek, and the K for knock. It all comes right back to ask. Mm-hmm. But what it say, you ask and you ask amiss.
Uh-huh.
You're going to go around the bush and not be straightforward with how you asking.
Mm-hmm. Because if you ask straightforward, you're going to reveal something about you. And we want to do that without revealing anything. I find it particularly interesting when people call you and they want to ask, right, for something. But they're not going to ask. They're going to tell you all the issues that they have and wait for you to offer. Mm-hmm. So that way, when something happens later on, I didn't ask you to keep my baby. Yeah, but you told me 12 other things.
I got to be at the mall, and I got to be at the job, and I got to pay Georgia Power, and little man is just sitting here.
You want me to keep little man? Thank you for asking. Now later on, when something hit the fan, I didn't ask you to keep man. You volunteered.
Mm-hmm.
They told you 8 little things, so you would ask to keep little man. So now I just sit there and I just watch him,
And then I got to go.
What? They didn't ask me nothing. They just telling me all the stuff they got to do. I figured they just reading off the itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
See, that come from getting burnt. Once you done got burnt a few times. See, Jake learned you something. See, once Jake burned you a few times, I learned, you know what? You shut my mouth. Threw that key back there. It's back there somewhere. Keep talking. Jake, boy, hey, Jake can teach you something.
Lose a lot of money that way and a lot of your time.
Uh-huh. And then they give you their tail to kiss later on. I ain't asked you. No, but you asked me everything else. I tell you what, we done playing this game. You don't open your mouth, you gonna sit right there and starve. And I'm gonna sit right here and I'm gonna eat this lamb, it's delicious. I'm gonna eat the lamb right here. I'm gonna dig every one of my fingers. You want some? If you want something, you'd ask for something. If you want. Because a man don't despise a thief if he steal because he's hungry. Mm-hmm. Well, how I know he hungry?
Right back to that first word, ask.
Right.
So while you talking and telling me all your...
Right.
I hope it work out for you.
See, but see, I would have to reveal something about myself to ask. See, then that means this pride situation is keeping us from doing the things that we ought to do. Interesting. Go ahead.
For everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks finds, and to him that knocks it shall be opened.
Now, remember now, we go back and read the things in the Old Testament, and it says to, and it's in several places. To the upright, you will show yourself upright. To the pure, you will show yourself pure. But to the forward, you will show yourself unsavory. So now, let's read that again. Ask, and it shall be given you. How will it be given to you? Seek, and you shall find. What heart did you seek with? And it shall be open. Knock, and it shall be open unto you. How did you knock? Did you knock like this, or you knock like the cab county? You knock. I got a warrant for your arrest out there. How you knock? Well, understand. What energy you bring, that's the energy or the spirit in which you're gonna receive. So, did you seek this with as pure of a heart as you could attempt? Or was it laced with other intentions? So when you did find something, what exactly did you find? Or did he give you according to your request? It says, I gave them a king in my anger. Wait a minute. Israel asked for a king. Yahweh was not ready to give Israel a king. But they asked. Mm-hmm. And they asked in an impure manner. What kind of king they got? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Matter of fact, he said, I'm going to give you this, but I'm telling you what kind of king you're going to get. He going to take your sons, he going to take your daughters, he going to do such and such, he going to do this. Yeah. Give us what we ask for. All right. So, don't take this out of context. Ask and it shall be given. Did they not ask for a king? Mm-hmm. He gave them one, but he was foul. Mm-hmm. So somebody said, you know what, I want me a woman. Yeah, he gave you a woman. But it was more like, whoa, man, I gave you something. You didn't wait to see what kind he was going to give you. All you wanted was one. You just wanted a one man. And that's what he gave you. Okay? So, do not take this that, oh, you can just do anything and he's just going to open it all up to you because you asked. Now, the heart in which you ask is going to dictate how he answers that. Go ahead.
Or what man is there of you, whom if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will he give him a serpent? If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good gifts to them that ask him? Therefore all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do you even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets.
All right. There's one more. I think we're gonna probably grab it on the Sabbath. I'll deal with that one there. That's all that we're gonna do for tonight. Remember, all right, we are sanctifying against the third day. That means Thursday at sundown, you wash before the sun goes down, and there's no more cohabitation with your spouse after Thursday sundown. Okay? So if you got to sleep in the shed, then go out to the shed and sleep with the shovels and the pickaxe. Go down there, take your coat, go down there and just get cozy. Just, reorganize your tools. Just do that. So you have something to do. Put all the shovels together. Put all the folks. Find all those screwdrivers. You're going to find out, you know what? I got 27 screwdrivers. Put them all together. Match them up with the sides, whether or not they're Phillip or flat. Go ahead and do that. And I guarantee you're going to have an awesome tool shed by the third day. I promise you. All right. That's all that we're going to do for tonight. Brother, would you lead us out in prayer, please?
Yes, let's rise and face the east. That's the direction of the holy city of Jerusalem from where we are at. If you're in another country, you need to figure out what direction that is. All brothers, remove your head coverings. Sisters, always pray with your heads covered. Abba Father Yah, the El of Abraham, Esaac, and Jacob, the Most High Covenant Elohim of Israel, merciful Father Yah, thank you once again for the opportunity for us to be able to get together and gather and go through these questions, O Heavenly Father, and go over the things that are pleasing unto you, O Heavenly Father, allowing us once again to sharpen our swords, O Heavenly Father, and even for those who are new in this culture, O Heavenly Father, to start to gain some understanding of how they must walk and present themselves before you and before the world, Almighty Yahweh. Continue to allow these things to chip away at these stony hearts and give us a heart of flesh, O Heavenly Father. Allow these things to continue and shape and mold us into righteous servants of yours, O Heavenly Father. I ask that you'll keep your hedge of protection around our little sanctuary and around our individual homes, O Heavenly Father, and even give us protection as we journey to our homes, Almighty Yahweh. In Yahshua's name, I humbly come to you and pray and ask these things of you. Amen and hallelujah.
Amen. Hallelujah.